Chapter 11, Section 1, Definition of Stress. Stress is a term to describe physical, emotional, cognitive, and behavioral response to an event threatening or challenging. Stressors can come from within a person, external use, and it could be mild to severe. There's two kinds of stressors, distress and eustress. Distress is an unpleasant stressor that causes eustress, a positive event that demands a person to adapt or change. For example, being pregnant, that it's a type of change, but that also stress because it requires a huge change in life. Section 2, Chapter 11, it's catastrophes. It's example of stressors, unpredictable events that happens on large scale and creates tremendous amount of stress or feeling of threat, like tornadoes, fires, or things like that. There's also ASD, that it's acute stress disorder. It's recurring nightmares, sleep disturbance, problems in concentration, which people seem to relive the event, the dreams, and flashback as long as if it's less than a month. It's like reliving the tornado or the fire that happened in your house, that you can't sleep, that you keep reliving that traumatic. There's also PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. This the same symptoms as ASD, but when it lasts more than the month. There's also major life changes. Stress is present even in relative ordinary life experience. It doesn't have to be negative, such as losing your job. It could be such as going to college or getting married, that requires a person to change and adjust to their changes. There's hassles. Experienced daily actually come from little frustration, delays, irritation, minor disagreements. Like, for example, finding parking at the school in Monsac, or also traffic and also delaying if for appointments.
Now we will discuss psychological factors of stress. First factor, pressure. When a person is experiencing complicated tasks and are expected to work harder, faster, or do more than usual, is working under pressure. For example, a student who works under pressure when trying to meet a deadline by completing an essay or preparing themselves for a final. Next factor, accountability. Having control in a situation determines the degree of stress. The more control a person has over a certain situation, the less stress the person will have. If a person has no control over a situation, the more stressed the person will become. Another stress factor, frustration. This occurs when a person is not able to accomplish a desired goal. There are two types of frustrations, external and internal. An example of external frustration is driving to the mall and suddenly the car breaks down. And an internal frustration is having a desire in becoming a professional athlete, such as a basketball player, but is not qualified due to their height. Both of these goals were not reached, which caused frustration. Another reaction to frustration is aggression, which is a person's action that is meant to hurt or destroy. A person who punches a hole in a wall is a sign of aggression. Another way a person may react with aggression is taking out their frustration to defenseless targets. For example, getting fired at work, then arrive home and take it out on their spouse. This process is called displaced aggression. Another reaction to frustration is escape or withdrawal. An example is dropping a tough course that caused frustration. Next, we will discuss how stress affects the physical body. Hans Selye was the founder of General Adaptation Syndrome, which is the sequence how our body reacts to a stressor, and it consists of 3 stages. First stage, alarm. When our body reacts to a stressor, the sympathetic nervous system is activated. Our adrenal glands release hormones that increase heart rate, blood pressure, and the supply of blood sugar that causes a max of energy. Some common reactions are fever, nausea, and headache. Second stage, resistance. Our body continues to release stress hormones that help us fight the stressor, and the alarm stage symptoms are slowly dispersed. This stage will last until the stressor ends or our body has used all of our energy. Final stage, exhaustion. Exhaustion occurs when all our energy is gone and leads to stress-related diseases such as high blood pressure, weak immune system, or even death. Now we will discuss how stress affects the immune system. The immune system are interacting cells that protect our body from diseases, infections, and injuries. When our body is fighting a disease, our white blood cells release chemicals and enzymes to the bloodstream. Then, the chemicals activate receptor sites on the vagus nerve to signal the brain. The brain then further activates the immune system. The exact process occurs when our body encounters stress, but it begins on our brain instead of our bloodstream. Our immune system allows us to better cope with stress only if it's not continuous. Stress has a major negative effect on cancer. Stress increases the growth of cancer cells. Stress reduces the release of natural killing cells, which are responsible for restraining viruses and killing tumor cells.